What will Anna's reaction be to her mother's revelation? Will she be horrified or intrigued? Let's continue and find out. As Renee finished up her unbelievable tale, Anna just sat quietly, wondering what had sent her mother over the edge. Had she gone crazy? Had she completely lost it? Anna knew her recent brush with death was hard on her mom, but this? Anna's training as a counselor kicked in. It was challenging to counsel one's own parent, that was for sure, but she knew she couldn't let anyone hear her mother speaking like this. They would lock her away in a loony bin. Anna took a sip from her water bottle and covered her feet up with a blanket, which always seemed comforting. "Mom, I don't really know what you want me to say here." She had decided that the direct approach was the best way to go. "You are sitting here on this couch in our house, expecting me to believe you are a vampire. Do you understand how crazy this sounds?" Anna couldn't lose her cool here. She had to remain calm. "I'm not saying you're crazy. I'm just saying the story is crazy." Renee smiled as though she had expected just this response from her level-headed daughter. "Don't try to analyze me, Ms. Anna Folana." Anna Folana was a pet name Renee used when trying to discipline Anna without being too harsh. "Oh, I'm not. This is outside anything we've ever learned. I wouldn't even know where to start to analyze this." Anna's tone was a little more panicked now. "Anna, have I ever lied to you?" "The scary part is that I don't think you believe you are lying." Panic ran freely in her words now. Renee could tell Anna was really scared. Of course, she didn't want her to be afraid for her, but she had to let her feel however she was feeling. "Look at me, baby, see me." Renee stared into Anna's frightened eyes and revealed her true beauty for the first time. Anna jumped back in her seat. She clung to the back of the couch as though she could rip it free and protect herself with it. This was her mom. Anna could depend on her. What was going on here? What was she seeing? As if she were seeing the world through new eyes, she saw her mother. She really saw her mother. With the veil now lifted, she could finally see what her mother had been hiding. The lines of age were gone from her mother's face. Her hair glistened and shone in a way Anna had never remembered happening before. Renee's eyes, even though they were similar to Anna's, were not. Anna stared into the face of someone she had never met. She saw a version of her mother that only the people of her youth had seen. The only exception was the eyes. The eyes were new. They were not anything that had inhabited a mere human. They were perfect and oddly unsettling at the same time. Anna just sat there and didn't have words to convey her shock. "It's okay, Anna. It's going to be okay, I promise. Don't be afraid. Don't you dare be afraid of me." Fear reigned supreme in Renee's heart. She never even thought about Anna being afraid of her own mother. She loved Anna with all her might, and she couldn't bear the thought of her daughter being afraid of her in any way. Anna slowly moved forward. She placed her hand on Renee's cheek. Renee melted into her touch, kissing the palm of her hand, as she had done when she was a child. "Mom, what is going on?" Anna began to sob as she spoke. "Don't cry, baby. I did this for you. I did all of this for you." Anna sat and tried to remember precisely what Renee had said. She had thought of nothing but curing her mother of the mental illness she clearly had. She hadn't really listened to the story. Instead, she had been rummaging through the textbooks in her mind, trying to recall similar bouts of this particular delusion. She found she wasn't familiar with any. So what had her mother said? "I don't know how to help you, Mom." Anna sniffled as she spoke. "That's just it. I'm here to help you. Don't you understand? You can be like me now. You don't have to grow old. You don't have to die. I have seen to that." Renee seemed so excited. She had waited so long to do this for her baby, and now was the time. Now she could give her this special gift. "So you're telling me you're immortal. You're telling me you are like the TV vampires, all blood and teeth, running around killing people. Is that what you're telling me?" Anna calmed down a little bit. It was all so absurd that she decided she would just take it one step at a time. "Partly, yes, I am immortal. I do need to drink blood, but not like you think. I can drink from blood banks or animals, and there is no killing of anybody unless it's called for. A lot of what we have read and seen in the movies are not true at all. Our kind is just another version of a human being. We just live a really, really, really long time, like forever long. I can see there is something different about you that is obvious, but to have me believe in vampires is a whole other thing. So what else can you do? There have to be more amazing things than this mesmerizing and looking half your age. Prove me wrong, Mom. Prove to me we aren't both insane. Renee slowly stood. Then, in a blink of an eye, she was gone. Anna shifted one way, then another, looking to see where she had gone. Her mother appeared in the kitchen doorway, holding a large kitchen knife in her hand. "Okay, Mom, let's take a moment here. What are you doing with that knife? How did you get there so fast?" Anna stood up, preparing herself for defense of some kind. She could never imagine her mother hurting her, but she stood 5 feet away, brandishing a long blade. "Oh, sit down, Anna. I'm not going to hurt you. Have you gone crazy now?" Renee smiled, trying to lighten the mood of the now tense room. "What are you going to do with that knife?" "You'll see," that was all Renee said. Renee took her seat on the couch and produced a kitchen towel from under her arm. She slowly drew the blade down the length of her forearm. The blood seemed to gush from its depths. Anna screamed and tried to grab at the wounded appendage as the towel soaked up the blood pouring down her fingertips. "What are you doing? We have to get you to the hospital now!" Anna screamed frantically, trying to drag her mother from her seat. "Just watch," Renee said, staring at the wound on her arm. Just as that time long ago when Renee had watched Tori's wound close quickly, so did Renee's wound now close just as quickly. The slit closed itself perfectly, and the flow of blood stopped. "We are fast, strong, and nothing can hurt us," Renee explained, taking her daughter's hand in hers. "This is what I've been waiting for. I just want you to be safe, my baby. I don't want anything ever to hurt you again. This car accident was minor, but it could have been tragic. I can't risk anything like that happening again." Anna couldn't cry. She couldn't laugh. She couldn't do anything but stare at the perfectly healthy arm in front of her. No large cut was visible on her mother's skin. There was nothing to show that her mother had just taken a knife and sliced open her vein. Anna was terrified. She realized that her recent brush with death had been devastating to her mother. She knew her mother had an unreasonable need to protect her, but whatever this was, it was too much. Anna now believed something was going on. She just wasn't sure what it was. Could she believe her mother was this thing she claimed to be? Could she believe, even though she could see, that her mother was anything less than immortal? Anna had watched her mother move so quickly that her mind couldn't even register the movement. She had seen her mother inflict a life-threatening wound on herself, yet there were no traces of it moments later. Anna had seen her mother transform from a middle-aged woman to a young, vibrant woman in a matter of seconds. She had to believe. She had to believe something, or she was a victim of mass delusion and was as crazy as her mother appeared to be. Even though this story was a product of her mother's damaged mind, Anna wanted to know more. She was fascinated by the thought. Anna had always been a fan of the supernatural. She read every book and watched every B-rated movie she could find to feed her addiction. She found this particular brand of villain to be the most appealing. They were, after all, beautiful and ageless. There was a sense of seduction about their very being, and every product of this curse was immensely loyal to the ones they loved. As there was only Anna and her mother, she found this to be the most alluring part of all. She wondered what it would be like to have a love like that. She always sided with the vampire in all the movies she had watched. She wanted them to get the girl and ride off into the sunset, as it were. That had never happened. Death was always the reward for their undying love. Anna shook herself back to reality. She was a woman of science, and this definitely wasn't science. This was fiction. Nothing was immortal, and even inanimate objects found decay at some point. Science was rational and current. Magic and spells and raising the dead were thought of by the more flamboyant of society. Most of this part of society remained hidden so others wouldn't believe them to be crazy. Nobody of any substance would dare admit to such nonsense. Yet here, Anna found herself confronting it. She found herself faced with irrefutable data. Believing was seeing, and seeing meant truth, so she must admit she had seen all the things she had seen. Anna needed little persuasion. Her response was not at all what Renee expected. She was curious, and somehow her need to learn more was overpowering. Being a woman of science lent itself nicely to pursuing a rational explanation. Yet down deep in her soul, Anna knew no reasonable explanation existed. She had seen the wonders of her mother, and her excitement grew as she thought of the possibilities. She played the tape like a film in her mind. She saw herself transformed into this perfect version of herself. Her mother's fear had long since rooted itself into her soul, and she found herself excited by the thought of safety. Nothing would harm her, nothing would control her, and most of all, nothing would frighten her again. But of course, she would find this to be untrue. Renee went back through the particulars of her story. She revisited her transformation, allowing Anna to take it all in. Anna needed to be very aware. She needed to realize death would come to her, but that she would live again. Renee wanted her to really understand that part of it, because no one was ready for that. Renee could still hear the snapping sound her neck had made when her life had ended. Anna would never have to endure that memory, because Renee would make sure she was safely tucked away in her mind when that time came. Nick would ensure a peaceful transition. He would give her comfort in her final moments as a human. As false as it would be, that comfort was mercy. "What do we do now?" Anna asked, gripping her cup so tightly her knuckles turned white. Renee smiled and patted her daughter's hand gently. "We don't have to do anything this very second." She understood that, like herself, Anna didn't like to procrastinate. She could see the excitement in her daughter's eyes, and it reminded her of a time long ago. Renee would read Anna a bedtime story, and Anna would seem lost in its pages. That was what made Anna so great at her job. She could not only sympathize with her clients, but she also empathized as well. She could easily slip into the lives of anyone she knew. She could take on this new life with a vengeance. She would excel as she had always done. "Let's take a little time. Not too long, but a little. Don't be surprised to find yourself wrapped in a bubble wrap or a suit of armor, though. Just saying." Renee laughed as she pictured it. She could just see Anna in a suit of armor or wrapped in bubble wrap, her arms held out because she would be unable to move very well. "Whatever you think is best. I'm still in shock, I think." Anna returned her mother's smile. "Do you want me to do something about this?" She pointed down her body as if she was asking her permission to go back to the way Anna saw her before. "What would be the point in that? I already saw you now. You do that thing to everybody so that they see you as you want them to?" Anna asked, genuinely curious. "Yep, I just have to do it once, and I will age gracefully in their eyes. Of course, I know I will have to make them forget how long they have known me at some point, but I will cross that bridge when I come to it." "You hungry?" Renee asked, moving the cups from the table. "Question is, are you?" Anna said with a mischievous grin. Renee knew she would be the butt of a lot of Anna's jokes. The meaning was a little morbid, but Renee had a morbid sense of humor, just like Anna. "You are too funny, ha 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 ha." Renee rolled her eyes and made her way to her duties in the kitchen. Anna and Renee sat down to some meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and green beans. It had always been Anna's favorite comfort food, even though she had made it several times, with her mother instructing her every step of the way. Anna never got it to turn out as good as her mom's. They never said a word about the hours they had spent on the couch talking. Instead, they talked about normal, everyday things. They spoke about Anna's job and how frustrating it was to try so hard with so little result. Anna looked up from her plate with a newfound expression. "I could really help people if she said, looking up and down her mother, trying to make her understand. "Yep, at the very least, you can persuade people to do whatever it is you think they should do. At the most, you can just take out the problem altogether." Anna had often thought of how nice it would be to inflict the pain on the parents of the abused children she saw every day. She thought about how nice it would be for them to be afraid and weak and hopeless. Any form of torture wouldn't be enough. Some of these people were actual monsters. The children were innocent. Their eyes told the story of how damaged they were. Physical clues were visible to an onlooker, but the internal scars were the most dangerous. These scares twisted and marred their soul until there was nothing but a mirror image of the monster that abused them. Anna thought this would be the reason she took on this new role. It wouldn't be for herself or even to unburden her mother. It would be to punish the unpunishable. She could terrorize them in their dreams and their waking lives. She could show them what hell really was. She couldn't have dreamed of anything more perfect. She didn't need any more time to think. She wanted this power. She had to have it. Anna ran down the stairs like a teenage girl. She yelled for her mother until she poked her head out from the kitchen. "What in the world is your problem?" Renee asked, drying her hands on a dish towel. "We have to do this. We have to call those people and do this. I don't need to wait." Anna almost screamed it like an order. "What in the world has you in such a tizzy? We can call them. Just settle down." Renee sat down on the couch and patted the cushion, indicating where she wanted Anna to sit. Anna sat and began to explain all the reasons this was important for her. She wanted her mom to see that she wanted to be extraordinary. She wanted to be more than human. She needed it. The kids she tried to help deserved it. She could do so much more with these abilities than she ever thought possible. She could actually save some of them, and not have to sit idly by and watch them fall. These kids could escape both nature and nurture if she could intervene. Renee sat quietly for a moment. Then her selfish side began to rear its ugly head. She didn't care why Anna wanted it, not really. All she wanted was for her child to live. She wanted her safe. If Anna could do some good, then okay. She really didn't care about anything but her child. She would take this ball and run with it. "Okay, I will call them a little bit later. They work nights, so they are probably still resting, but I will call. Don't you have work today? Is your sick leave over?" Renee couldn't help the sound of disappointment in her voice. She liked having Anna safely at home with her, but she knew she had to let her go sometime. Yes," Anna said while bounding back upstairs. She threw her hair up in a high ponytail. She slipped on black dress pants and a nice crisp white button-down top. On her feet, she wore black flats, no buckle required. She was quite certain she would never even drive above the speed limit again until it was safe to do so. She hugged her mother and went to her office. She dreaded going back into the same old drama, but she knew she would be changing that very soon. Her first case of the day was Byron Talbot. He was a perfectly adorable 6-year-old boy. He had recently lost his 2 front teeth, and nobody thought it was strange that they fell out at exactly the same time. Anna did. She knew that brute of a father had knocked that poor boy's teeth out in an attempt to get him to move faster, or talk louder, or just be better, whatever the case might have been that day. She wanted nothing more than to knock out his stupid teeth, but she had to remain professional. She could help no one if she was unemployed by the state of Virginia. "So, how have you been doing, Byron?" Anna asked, taking a lollipop from her cup and handing it to the boy. "He's just fine," his father answered for him. "I don't know why we have to keep coming here. Y'all don't do a damn thing." "First of all, Mr. Talbot, I was speaking to Byron. Secondly, just what do you think we need to be doing?" Anna asked, sending the clear message through her body language that he didn't intimidate her in the least. "You're supposed to be helping us get this brat under control. He is always running that mouth and leaving his shit lying all over the house for us to fall over and kill ourselves. You ain't done nothing. And what about the stamps you said we was gonna get? How are we supposed to feed these kids without more stamps?" Anna knew he meant the EBT card the government provided to families for food, but this asshole had lived off the system for so long, he still referred to them as stamps. She wanted to suggest the unthinkable, that they get a job, but she didn't. She wanted to suggest they not have more children than they could afford, but she didn't. She simply said she would look into it. "Ah, hell, you say that every time. This is a waste of my time and taxpayer money if you ask me." He sat like he had won some unspoken battle, glaring at Anna. "And what would you know about that?" Anna muttered under her breath. "What did you say?" Talbot leaned up in his chair, gripping the arms tightly. Anna couldn't hold it in. Management had spoken to her many times about her blunt rudeness, but this time, she just couldn't hold in her rage. You would have to pay taxes for that to be your problem, now wouldn't you, Mr. Talbot? You think we are dumb here, but we are not. We know exactly what you are doing to this boy, and if I can do anything about it, I will. You don't scare anybody, Mr. Talbot, nobody except this little boy. I assure you I am not 6 years old, and you don't scare me at all. Anna slammed both fists against the desk as her bottom lifted from the chair. This outburst had happened much quicker than usual. She felt the fire running through her veins as she thought of smacking his face off his skull. You ain't nothing but a stuck-up bitch. I hope you don't think you scare me none, 'cause you don't. This is my kid, and I will raise him the way I see fit. Do you understand me? He was so mad he shook when he spoke, and he met her stance of defiance. Let me explain something to you, you loudmouth bully. That child might be yours legally, but let's see how fast the state of Virginia can change that. Piss in this cup. She slapped a clear white cup in front of the man. He stood in complete shock. You can't make me do that, bitch. That ain't part of the deal. We don't have any deal, Mr. Talbot. I'm here to ensure the safety of the boy, nothing else. Maybe some time away, maybe just what the doctor ordered. Don't you ever think you're gonna jump up in my face. I'm the wrong one. Do you understand me? Now, Mr. Talbot, take the cup and go collect that sample. Byron won't be leaving until you do. Talbot swiped the cup from the table and left the room. Anna was sure he wouldn't have done it, but the fate of the child services check was on the line. Maybe he thought nothing would show up. Perhaps he thought the gods were on his side. They were not. Byron didn't have to go home with that monster that day, and social services removed Byron's siblings from the home within hours. Anna handpicked the foster family that would take them in. They were a very decent family with grown children of their own. They wanted to ease the suffering of lost children, and Anna found that they really did. Day after day, Anna encountered more of the same. One after another, children came in front of her, dirty, starved, and lacking basic love and care. Unlike the Talbot child, Anna couldn't save them all. She had to watch as they continued to survive and never thrive as they should have. She saw teen girls who thought the attention they received from their mom's significant other was love. They didn't understand it was molestation. Any attention was better than none at all. Usually, no amount of explanation would suffice. The girls were just glad somebody wanted them, even if it was the sicko living with their mother. Anna had to let them go. She couldn't get them to tell the truth. The perverts were free to keep abusing. Every evening, Anna would retire to her office and prepare for the coming day. She relied on her schedule book entirely. There were so many children in need. There were so many home visits, and she handled them all. She felt an unquenchable need to personally handle each case as if it were her only case. That was impossible. There were just too many. Some would fall through the cracks, and she had to be sure the ones that did slip through were strong enough to pull themselves up again. The youngest and most abused had to be her priority. But how did one choose? How did these seasoned vets of the system simply watch? How did they do nothing? How was the rage of injustice not devouring them every second of the day? How were their dreams not plagued with visions of the innocent in the hands of the guilty? Anna wasn't built that way, not at all. Well, that was amazing. I can't wait to see what happens next. I hope you will join me on their journey. Until next time, bye for now.